Hello weary travelers! We here at Arcanarama have implemented a lot of homebrew rules over the past few years that stick with us as we move forward. And in this video I wanted to go over our new weapon feats. Those of you who are keeping up with the current state of D&D might be thinking, weapon feats? Hey, that sounds a lot like weapon mastery. And that's because I finished these weapon feats literally the day before they announced the Unearthed Arcana for those. But honestly, after looking through them, I like mine better, so we're gonna stick with them. And no, I'll never stop complaining about that. This mainly was birthed out of the idea that if you are a melee fighter going into combat, you really only have one thing that you can do for the most part, unless you're a battle master fighter, and that thing is, I hit them. I wanted to add a little bit more spice to our combat for our melee fighters, so I came up with these weapon feats. Any weapon that you are proficient with, you get access to the feat for that weapon. From simple weapons all the way to martial weapons and even shields, of which there are now 3 special different kinds. You can see the full list of our homebrew weapon feats over on our Patreon page, patreon.com/arcanarama. It's only $3 to get access to everything that we do over there, so you might as well, it really helps us out. Why would you ever choose a dagger over a rapier if you're a dexterity-based character? Obviously the damage output for the rapier is far superior, with the dagger just doing a measly d4 damage. So I sought to bring interesting and historically accurate features to these weapons that can be implemented in and sometimes out of combat. So when you make your backstabbing rogue or College of Swords bard, who really aesthetically should be using daggers, a little bit more interesting. Now I'm going to go over a few of my favorite weapon feats and a few of my players' favorite weapon feats. We were just talking about the dagger, so let's keep talking about the dagger. The dagger's weapon feature is deflection. Once per round, when an opponent makes a melee attack against your character, you can use your reaction to try and deflect their attack, adding +5 to your armor class. I know what you're thinking, isn't that basically like the shield spell? Yes. Historically, that's kind of what daggers were used for. If you're carrying one in your offhand, it would be used to parry and deflect your enemy's blows to keep them from colliding with you, while you can then take advantage of that missed attack and strike back. Speaking of taking advantage of a missed strike, that brings us to the rapier's weapon feat, riposte. When a creature misses you with a melee attack roll, they leave themselves open. You can then use a reaction to make an attack of opportunity against that creature with advantage, using the quick nature of the rapier to exploit their weakened stance. Maybe the rapier's not your thing. Maybe you're more of a short sword guy. The weapon feat for the short sword is the tight quarters counter. The short sword is incredibly light and maneuverable, especially within a confined space. As a reaction, when a creature hits you with an attack, you can roll a d6 and add that number to your armor class. If this new addition to your armor class would cause that attack to have missed, then as part of the same reaction, you can make an opportunity attack against that creature as a counterattack. As I said before, these weapon feats don't only apply to melee weapons, but ranged and shields as well. For example, the longbow has a dual shot feature. As a bonus action, you knock 2 arrows. Using one attack action, you can roll 2 attacks with disadvantage. You can choose to target 1 creature twice, or 2 creatures if they're within 20 feet of each other. We also now use 3 different types of shields. There's a standard shield, which would be a wood shield or a kite shield, which gives you the +2 to your armor class, and comes with the weapon feature Shield Bash. As a bonus action, you slam an opponent within melee range with your shield. Make a melee attack using your strength and proficiency bonus. On a hit, you knock your opponent off balance, and the next attack against them has advantage. This way we don't negate the Shield Master feat, and you can still use that to knock people prone. There's also a buckler, which is a much smaller shield. Only gives you +1 to your armor class, but comes with the chance parry technique. When a creature misses you with a weapon attack, you use your reaction to make a well-timed parry. You knock their weapon aside, leaving them open. As a part of the same reaction, you can make an opportunity attack against that same creature. And finally, there's the Tower Shield, the big honkin' boy. It gives you +3 to your armor class. However, it does require a strength of at least 15, that's the ability score, the big number, or higher to be able to wield. The feature for the Tower Shield is Covered Flank. When fighting on soft ground or dirt, you can use a bonus action to affix your shield into the ground, where it acts as a wall that can give full cover to a creature that is medium or smaller. This feature also makes it so that you cannot be flanked while the shield is affixed. If you're not on soft ground, the DM may allow you to make a strength check of a DC that they set, depending on the type of ground you're attempting to pierce with the shield to gain the aforementioned feature. But I leave that at the Dungeon Master's discretion. These are just a few of the homebrewed weapon feats that you will see implemented in A War of Fang and Fur and other campaigns to come. Once again, if you want to check out the full list for yourself, head on over to patreon.com/arcanarama, where you can grab access to the full list. And yes, there is a feature for every single weapon in the player's handbook and